Good morning, good morning, and good morning. Hey, everybody. TGIF. Happy Friday to each and every single one of you. I am Loren Michaels Harris, and welcome. Somehow you slipped on a universal banana peel and found yourself smack dab in the middle of today's episode, and I'm so glad you did. How are you? I'm so excited about today's show. I'm not going to spend much time chit-chatting today. I know, right? Because we're going on a field trip, which means ordinarily my guests come through computer, but today Thad J. Smith, my guest, the beekeeper, the beepreneur, is going to be out at the bee farm in the beehives doing all the bee stuff. And so he has to use his phone, and so he may get booted off, but he'll come back. I've got some clips to show if we start having audio problems. Let me tell you just a little bit. First of all, you guys, I'm asking, let me ring the bell. I'm asking that, we guys, that all of us pray for this country. Things are just getting a little out of hand. I don't know if you know what's going on in Atlanta, but I spoke with my nephew from there who lives there. I have a lot of family there the other day. And, police are refusing to show up there for their shifts. They're calling off. They're saying, you know what? I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to be treated this way. Let Atlanta burn. Burn, baby, burn. And so there's going to have to be some changes. People are fed up. So just pray for peace. Okay, can we do that? Thank you. We need to take a lesson. We need to take a note from nature. Somehow they get along. I don't know why we can't. We need to take a lesson from nature. Amen. Amen. So listen, let me tell you about Thad J. Smith. His life wasn't always on the right track. In 2010, times got tough and money was scarce. And then after losing his house and becoming homeless, Thad made some poor decisions. Been there, done that. And he became homeless. I said that. He was charged with 2 felonies and briefly incarcerated. But then upon release at 46 years old, he found himself in a desperate situation alone and was hitting rock bottom. That inspired him to not only turn his life around, but to change his attitude and to aspire to something greater. So then he moved on. And long story short, because there's a lot here, and I hopefully we'll get to cover some of that. He's been working with Westside Sweet Beginnings head beekeeper John Hansen. They allowed Thad to come in and be a part of this thing. And that's in the North Lawndale area outside of Chicago here. It's a suburb. So Thad describes his first experience working with bees. He says, I opened a hive and just fell in love. That love has driven Thad to new heights. And so he's out there today. He has a thing called the Westside Bee Boys. They make products. Their nonprofit is to help kids stay off the street and stay on the right path, to not make the poor decisions that Thad made and so many of us made. And I just love it. I love what Thad is doing. I love Thad, and I love the Westside Bee Boys and everything they're doing to contribute to a better world of color and beyond, right? Can we get I'm so happy and so honored to be able to present something with some African-American kids and adults and African-American men that is positive. We need to balance the scales. And so today you're going to see the example of how things can turn around and turn good. So I know for a fact that I smell the honey. I smell it right now. I smell it. So, is that a swarm of bees headed this way? Dad, can you hear me?
I can hear you, sir. How you doing today?
Good. That almost looks like an astronaut suit.
Oh, well, I need it today. I did some work and my babies aren't happy today, so I needed it today.
Oh, I heard them buzzing around. Does that mean they're angry?
No, you know what? I'm right in front of the hive right now, so I'm right in the flight path. Like I said, I did some work earlier, so they're a little upset with me, but either they're just trying to see what's going on, they're being curious. Mostly they're just curious, finding out what's going on. They're not stinging me. They're just being very curious right now. I don't know if you can see them flying around right now.
Yeah, so apparently bees are... Yeah, we see them. Oh my goodness. So what's the temperature? What's the temperature in that suit?
Whatever it is outside is 10 degrees higher than what it is outside. I'll tell you that. I think it's like 80 right now, but it gets like 95. Wow. So yeah, it gets a little hot. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to let you take us through the tour and explain, and we'll follow the protocol that we agreed upon earlier. In case you get booted off, don't worry, we'll wait for you. Tell us about everything there. You said we might get to see a queen bee. How can you tell her from everybody else? Don't they all look the same?
Oh no, that's the thing. People talk about bees. We see bees, hornets, yellow jackets, and we all think they're the same. But just like in your family, nobody's the same. There's the dad, there's the mom, there's the brothers and sisters. So in a hive, I'll break it down. A hive. A hive has
Okay.
three different types of insects: a worker bee, queen bee, and a drone. Worker bees do all the work. That's who really maintains the hive. The queen bee lays eggs, and she can lay eggs she can lay about up to 1,500 eggs a day. And then the drones are the male bees, and their only job is to mate with unfertilized females. Now they don't mate with the queen in the hive because they're related. So what the drones do is they go out to what we call the DCA, the drone congregation area. And so I like to call it the club because all the little virgin queens come flying through, and then the drones do their mating. So a queen could take maybe 10 to 12 mating flights. She'll mate with about 15 or 20 drones, and then all those different types of traits will be passed on to that particular colony.
Wow.
So that's pretty much, yeah. It's quite. Let me tell you something. You could start beekeeping today, and in 20 years, you still wouldn't even scratch the surface about beekeeping. It's just a very fascinating career. All right, so here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna show you. I gotta turn the camera around. So I'm just gonna show you around my apiary.
Okay. I'm gonna get off the screen, y'all, so you can see it better.
This is my apiary. I've got some frames here. These are some old frames. This is just your basic apiary. Now what we're looking at here are my actual hives. And so when we talk about beehives, when we talk about where you keep your bees, it's called an apiary. If you got one or if you got 20, it's called your apiary. And so what we're looking at right now are Langstroth hives.
Ooh, look at all of them.
These are your standard hives that everybody uses. There's top bar hives, worry hives. There's a bunch of different hives, but for me and my beekeeping needs, this is what I'm working with. All right, so can you see my finger?
Yes.
Can you see my finger, Loren?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm just going to point out some components to a hive. So this bottom part, this is a bottom board, and this is a super. Now there's three different types of supers. This is a medium super. You have deep supers and you have smaller supers. You have small supers, and those you can make a comb in. This is a top cover, and on the inside, this is your inner cover. And I don't know if you could see the bees hanging out on the top, but they're looking pretty good.
We can see everything.
Okay, so this is pretty much all right. So where my apiary is at a location called Sweetwater Foundation, and Sweetwater Foundation is on the south side of Chicago. I'm no West Side B-boys, but the bees go where the bees go, and they've been gracious enough to let me have my apiary here. So what I want to do here is I want to establish, I don't know, but the first Black beekeeping club here in America. I want to establish the first youth Black beekeeping club here in America. And then I want to establish the first Black-owned beekeeping supply store. So those are my goals. Those are my dreams. That's what I want to accomplish here. Let's see. So I've been here for a couple months. This is my first season here. And it looks like we're going to have a really good honey crop here. Really, we're going to have some great honey.
Honey?
You know what? Hold on. Let me. I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you some different types of honey before we go in the hive.
Okay.
Let's see here. All right. So that is a clover. Oh, sorry. This is my clover honey. Now, clover is a weed throughout the United States. It's a wide range of weed, especially in the urban environment. And so when you get your honey in stores, mostly it came from clover. Now, I have another type of honey, which is my wildflower honey. So my wildflower, it can come from anything, whatever the forage is, that's what it is. So you can have mint, you can have lavender, you can have straw. I mean, whatever's out there that's fruiting. So this one right here actually's got a little fruity taste, which is surprising because I didn't know Chicago had fruit trees, but it's a nice
Right.
surprise. And this is your basic tasting honey. It's nothing special. So those are the types of honey that I sell.
Excuse me.
Hold on one second, sir. My apiary is by a train track.
Oh, I thought that was an angry group of gang bees. I thought that was an angry group of bees.
No.
Okay, I have to disagree with you, Thad.
Sure.
I think all honey is special.
Oh yes.
Because it's just incredible how they make it.
So let me tell you a little bit about bees.
Okay.
Well, let me tell you a little bit about bees.
And
bees
then can you tell us, Thad, can you make sure you tell us today how they actually make the honey?
That's what you're gonna look at it. You're gonna see where the honey goes. We're gonna take that deep dive into it today. You're gonna see. Actually, I've got a frame of honey that you can look at, and we can see how they're making the comb and they're bringing in the nectar. So I got you, Loren. Don't worry about it. We got you today.
Okay. Yeah.
So a bee lives about 6 weeks. The first 4 weeks, it never even leaves a hive. It lives in complete darkness.
No.
So when the bee is born, its first job when it's born is to clean out the cell that it was born in so that a queen can lay an egg in that cell. That's its first job. Now, as it progresses, bees have specific jobs in a hive. There's called nurse bees. They have they have mortician bees that take out the dead bees. They have garbage bees that take out all the garbage in the hive. They have nurse bees, which take care of the brood. They have guard bees, which guard the hive. And then the final job that a bee has is called a forager. And that's about the last 2 weeks of his life. And as you can imagine, when you go out in the world, this world is crazy out here. So a bee technically lives 6 weeks, but really it works itself to death. That's really what happens. It just works itself until it just can't work anymore. And then it just dies. And so in a lifetime, a bee may only bring in, if you look at your pinky nail, that's how much nectar a bee will bring in its lifetime. Not much. It takes over 1 million. It takes bees to go to over 1 million plants to make just 1 pound of honey. So it's a lot of work that goes into what they do. They're really very good at what they do. And they're very dedicated to what they do. The other thing about bees is bees are very democratic. They don't look at any outside things. Once they agree upon something, that job is done and it gets going. There's no, but what if we do this? What if we do that? No, bees, this job gets done and they make it happen. That's what I like about bees.
We need a bee for president.
That's what you know what? I am going to, it's funny. I just saw a little thing about a swarm of bees for president. I was actually going to do that for the mayor this year, is nominate a swarm of bees and see if we can get a better job than what she's doing. All right. So here's what we're going to do right now. We are about to open up. So what you're looking at right here, this is called a nuke, an observation nuke. And I take this to classrooms. I could take this to farmers markets. So when I open it up, people can see the bees and they won't come out and attack them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open this up here. Let me see. Can you see me? All right. Because I got this thing on and I can hardly see sometimes. So forgive me if I keep asking that. So I'm going to open this up. And I'm going to take out. So this is a frame of bees, Loren. This is what you call a deep frame. And what's good about this is here, this is capped brood. The queen laid some eggs here, and these are this just got capped because of the color. When it's a little darker, you know it's older, but when it's this light, we know they just capped this. This right here is uncapped honey. And yeah, this is capped honey. Actually, you know what? I made a mistake. This is a brood frame. Let me go back. This is what we call a brood frame. I made a big mistake. So the brood frame is they'll have honey in like a semicircle here. They'll have pollen here. They combine that to make what's called bee bread to feed to the larvae, which is right here. And so the queen won't, once these bees are born, she'll come back to this frame and lay eggs here. Now I'm going to turn it on the other side, and you can see this is what the frame, this is what it started with, just plain old plastic. And then this is what they do. They build this comb up. This is fresh comb right here, very fresh comb, and actually, you could when the bees have their head in, they're either putting in nectar, they're taking out something, they're doing something productive. So the thing we're going to do is we're going to open this up and let you get a really look into this. I'm sorry, yeah. So it's nuke because it's nucleus, and the nucleus is the start of life. All you need is one nuclei, and you can start life. So a nuke can be what, 2 frames, 3 frames, up to 5 frames, and it'll have 5 frames of bees. 5 frames, about 2 frames of brood, frame of honey, and 2 frames of honey, and then either 3 frames of brood and 2 frames of honey, or it could vary. So we are going to open this bad boy up right now. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to let you take a look at this. This is what this is what I see pretty much all the time when I first open up a hive. This is what I'm greeted by, and if you had smell-o-vision, you can smell. A hive has a certain smell. It's absolutely phenomenal. It's like intoxicating, Loren. That's why I do it. But this is what it looks like. So
wow.
This is called a 5-frame nuke. What I do is take a frame out, and I'm going to show you a few frames in the hive. So let me put you back up here. Okay. Oh yes, this is a great frame, Loren, because this is yes. I always get excited when I see stuff like this. Sorry. This is a frame of brood. It is so this right here, this is older brood. So you can tell this is going to be born here pretty soon. But this is a brood frame.
So is that the nursery? Are those babies waiting to be born?
Right.
Oh.
Here, I'm going to point this out. I hope you can see. Is a queen.
Oh, I'm always up to meet another queen.
Just to have one available. Just
we get to see the queen.
Something happens to the queen, they can
sorry, you guys. It's because he's on his phone out there. He can't
do an emergency and.
But I'm going to show some footage here in a minute that'll explain a lot.
A new one. So there's 3 types of ways to make a queen. There is through swarming and emergency queen. So swarming is it's like if you are in your house and
okay, he popped off while we planned for this. We're gonna cut to some footage real quick because you got to understand when you're live streaming, it pulls, the broadband is very strong, but this is the only way because those beehives are out, away from buildings and electricity and that sort of thing. So we couldn't use a computer. So we're doing our best on our very first Bathrobe Moment field trip. And oh my goodness, did you see the brood thing? They were huge. Okay, that's when I was like, ew, they're scary looking. Isn't it interesting, the life of bees? I didn't know 6 weeks they live and they work themselves to death. I'm glad I wasn't born a bee. Wait a minute. That's kind of what we do. Uh-oh. Okay, I'm going to show you guys something about what they do, what the boys do, the West Side Bee Boys. These are kids that are our guests today. Thad takes off the street to keep them out of trouble. They come and they learn how to do what you saw Thad doing this morning. They raise the bees, they harvest the comb and the honey, and then they make products which they sell. And I have the website so you can go and check out more. But let's take a look at something from the news, okay? Thanks. Bear with me. Okay.
Welcome back. He is the founder of the North Lawndale-based Westside Bee Boys. And Thad Smith manages beehives all throughout the city. And in addition to that, he sells products made with his bees' honey. He's here to tell us more about what he does. Thad, thanks for coming in.
Thank you for having me. Greatly appreciate it.
It's an interesting concept. I love this because when my son was little, I used to watch that Jerry Seinfeld bee movie. And it really did put in layman's terms, especially for kids, why bees are so important to our ecosystem. Start there and talk about how they have significantly declined over years.
So one of the things that happened is we talk about honeybees because honeybees make us money. Right. That's the reason why. So we have tried to kill every other flying insect beside a honeybee. So in doing that, what we're doing is we're putting the native bee population into jeopardy. Native bees, they pollinate 90% of our food.
Wow.
In the world. So if we lose the native bee population, honeybees cannot sustain us as a race.
That's something you think about day to day, but could be so detrimental to everything that we do day to day if we would lose them.
Correct. It's all about food security. And here in Illinois, we just grow corn and soybeans here. So we import 90% of our food. So if there's a food shortage, Illinois is going to be in real trouble.
Okay, so beekeeping, kind of an interesting trade that not a lot of people know anything about or feel like maybe a little intimidated to get involved in. That, tell us how you did.
So I actually have some challenges in my background.
Right.
And so that's how I came to beekeeping. I found an organization called North Lawndale Employment Network, went through their U-Turn Permitted program. Then I got hired at Sweet Beginnings, which does beekeeping. They sell honey products, learned beekeeping there, became their head beekeeper, and started Westside Bee Boys.
And you talked about your background and how you had to overcome some things. And I know one of the components of what you're doing is encouraging some other Westside teens to get involved in what you're doing, learning about the trade of beekeeping, and in doing this with them to help keep them out of trouble. How rewarding is that for you to say, I've been there, I can overcome it, I'm going to help you stay out of what got me in my position?
Well, I'm glad you said that because I've got two of my interns from CCA Academy, Cheyenne McQueen and Devon Temple. They are wonderful, absolutely wonderful. I just had a show last week and they performed excellently. Nathan is my photographer, my intern. I butchered his last name and he's going to be mad at me. We just went over it. He's going to be mad at me. But they showed up and showed out, and I really like that. They can see being an entrepreneur is not just it's different every day. It is.
When you approach them, though, about, hey, do you want to come work with bees? Do you kind of get sort of a weird reception to it?
No,
or they say, that sounds interesting.
They jumped right into it. They were all Cheyenne. She's all over it. She's been great.
Interesting. All right. So you brought a bunch of products here. All of this comes from the local bee population that we have. And you turn it into products and sell it at farmers markets and some stores here. So we'll just start at this end.
So
honey,
this is
obviously.
So this is actually, I'm starting to import honey. This is some honey from Hungary. Dr. Honey. It's won the best honey of 2016 last year, working with FB International. Been working with them for a couple years. So I'm going to start to import honey because honey's just not local. It's worldwide.
What makes a good honey?
The taste, texture. I mean, honey, there's a different variety. Honey comes in different colors, different shades, different taste. So again, it all depends on what you like and honey can fit any taste you need.
Okay, interesting. And when it comes, is it true that if you're having honey that's locally sourced by local honeybees, it helps fight off allergies?
It does. And the best thing for you would be the honeycomb, because the honeycomb, when the bees come back, they put pollen in the cells. And so if you get the honeycomb, this is untouched, all natural honey. So you get little pockets of pollen in it. Excellent for you.
Okay. And you've also got beeswax. And this was a candle you were explaining.
Yeah. So beeswax is an all-natural product. It burns off negative ions, which helps to clean the air. Your paraffin wax candles burn off carcinogens, and that's bad for you. This is all natural. It comes from the bee's belly. They make it in order to put the honey in the comb.
Okay. What do you got down here? More skincare products, it looks like.
So this is my soap that I've got. I'm working with two other companies, Jerry's Botanicals and CDC Networking. These are two companies I've been working with for a few years. They're also Black-owned companies, and so we've bonded together to form a B-Boy Black Pack. This is just the different types and colors of honey that you're going to see.
Okay.
It's like I said, a wide-ranging range of floral taste. It comes in different colors. Again, it all depends on your floral source. The lighter it is, we do a early harvest in the summer. It's a little bit lighter. If you do a later harvest, it's a little bit darker in the fall. Okay,
and you brought these honey juices that you wanted me to try.
So this is a honey drink. What I'm doing is I'm taking the fructose syrup out of people's diets. When you drink a soda, you're drinking about 40 grams of sugar.
That's a lot.
That's a lot of sugar. This is my W2O water and honey.
I love that.
It tastes
just like a very thin honey.
It does. It's very refreshing. It gives you the sweet taste, but it doesn't give you those unnatural calories that are in sugar.
None of that bad stuff.
Yeah.
If folks want to get involved in your beekeeping program, learn more about what you do, how can they get a hold of you?
So you can go to westsidebboys.com. You can call me at 312-391-4429. I've got a show coming up, Illinois Farmers Market on the 29th at Kendall College. Then I work with another organization, the Historical Methodist Campground. It's out in Des Plaines. They're having a peace circle on April 22nd.
Okay.
You can go to shifttogreen.org and check that out.
All right, there's his website, Westside Bee Boy.
Okay, I'm glad we got that in because I wanted you guys to be able to see the enterprising side and the give back side of what our guest today, Thad, does. Now, if you just joined us, I was showing that because Thad is actually live on his phone, which is hard to do when you're doing live streaming and broadband because of the obvious reasons. So he's kind of coming in and going out. And there he is. Hi, Thad. Oh, he took his beekeeper thing off, so maybe he'll be able to be near some internet.
I think I'm ready.
Oh, okay. Well, we watched a little clip from the news about all the products, and people are able to go to the website now and see what you guys are doing and what they can purchase from you. So,
hey, how you doing?
Yeah, how are things out there? Yeah, it's hard when you're on your phone doing this stuff, y'all. Okay, well, these are nice.
I'm trying to find, I'm trying to get close
to some internet. I feel you. Just pouring some more coffee, y'all. Anyway, how interesting. And I hope we can get him near the internet so we can talk about these kids. You know, the Power of We Symposium. And I just love, you see that back there on the wall. I love working with at-risk youth, inner city youth. Hi, Thad.
Oh, things are great. I've been in that suit for a little while, so I had to come out. So yeah, that's okay. But it gives me a chance to talk about, give me a chance to talk now.
Yeah, tell us about the kids.
Yeah, okay. All right. I think I'm ready.
Okay.
No problem.
Okay, I'll talk while he's frozen. Let me say, because I forgot already, but I have it down. You guys, happy Juneteenth. If you do not know what Juneteenth is, this is the time in history where you really need to get your education as far as what this means.
Hey, you got me?
Yes, you're here.
Finally.
Happy Juneteenth.
Yeah, so I'm done with the bee work. I just, they're happy. I did a lot of work this morning. This just gives me an opportunity to talk about what I'm doing or with a plan, like I said, starting the Black Beekeeper.
Man, I wish he was near a hot
club,
spot.
Starting the Black Youth Beekeepers Club, and just getting us back into what we originally were. We're beekeepers. Bees came from Africa.
Oh.
So I want us to be what we were.
Knew? I didn't know that.
Original man, and teach people that no matter where you're at in the world.
So, Thad, if you can hear me, can you get near a hot spot or near some internet? Okay. He's going to go and try to find some internet. I'll be watching to see if he starts moving actually on the screen. Really interesting though. Today is Juneteenth, and we are trying to do better in our world. I mentioned something at the top of the hour. It's not stuff that is foreign to anybody. We all know what's going on in this world today, specifically in our country. And so I thought today would be a great day to have Thad back. He was here a couple of years ago, and to have him back to talk about the West Side B-Boys and what they're doing, and also to show some positive things about Black enterprise. Someone says here, what's Juneteenth? I never really learned about it. I don't want to get it wrong, so I am challenging you all to get out and Google it, right? All of us. Black, white, green, purple, all of it. It's time to, this looks super interesting, didn't it? Now, so anyway, it is Juneteenth. And what does this say? You guys have so many great comments. This is amazing. I'd like to pick his brain about his thoughts about consuming local honey from where you live to combat allergies. He said something about that on that news piece. Honey juice, that sounds so yummy. It kind of does. Thank you, Wendy. You are too. I know it's cutting in and out, April. That's because I explained he's out there with his phone at the beehives, which is a remote location. And so it makes sense that the internet, when you live stream it, the broadband pulls a lot. It's very difficult if you're not on a computer. Even here in my home studio, I have to hardwire directly into the internet and not go digital, or I'd be doing the same thing. So that tells you right there. Good morning, Agnes Overman. Are you related to Danny Torres by chance from Puerto Rico? One of my favorite people in the universe. Are you? If not, you might as well go ahead and pretend you are, because that's going to give you some big points here. Just kidding. Even if you're not related to Danny, Agnes, I'm so happy to see you here. How's the weather over there? We were supposed to go to Puerto Rico on our honeymoon, and then that big, well, we call it a huge storm. What was it? What are those things called? Hurricane came over there. Yeah. So anyway, I hope to get over there. It looks so beautiful. Have any of you guys ever been to Puerto Rico? Is it as beautiful as the pictures? I know they have those big lizards walking everywhere. That's the only thing I don't know. But I got a good new leg now, so I can run from them. So I'm good. So anyway, I happen to, hold on. How do I get out of this? I want to take that off. Okay, there we go. Poor Thad. Anyway, here are the websites or the connectors, you guys. I want you to get over and take a look at, it's hot. She says it's hot there. I want you to get over and take a look at the website, and you can buy the products from the West Side B-Boys at these sites, or Google West Side B-Boys, or I think Thad said westsidebboys.com is where you can go to check out everything they're doing. They're always looking for donations. Hi, honey. Good morning. They're always looking for donations to help keep the upkeep of their beehives and the suits for the kids to wear. A lot goes into it. But this is like an after school, a weekend program to keep kids off the street. You heard that admittedly say at the top of the hour, even in his what do you call that, bio, that, he made some bad decisions at 46 years old. And he has decided to give back to the community with his love for bees and products. And it's all natural. It's Black owned. And he does the nonprofit portion by helping to keep these kids off the streets. I don't think there's anything more gratifying than helping kids be the best that they can be, right? I'm ringing the bell on that. So please, I'm begging you, get over and check out the West Side B-Boys and see how you can help support this worthy cause. So there I put all the sites up, and also West Side B-Boys, BEEBOYZ like zebra.com. Could you do that for us? A couple more comments have come in. Robert said, thank you. Robert says Juneteenth is an unofficial American holiday and an official, Texas state holiday. I didn't know that. I did see where the mayor of Atlanta said that no, that wasn't the mayor. That was a prominent attorney there. That's right, who I follow on Facebook because his wife is one of the housewives of Atlanta. And he said they were closing down today and not working, but celebrating instead. So an unofficial American holiday and an official Texas state holiday celebrated annually on the 19th of June in the U.S. to commemorate Union Army General Gordon Granger, I didn't know that, announcing federal orders in the city of Galveston, Texas on June 19th, 1865, proclaiming that all slaves in Texas were now free. Hallelujah. So that was that before the Emancipation Proclamation? Is that why it's such a big deal? It would have to be pre, because if he said it afterwards, people would say, we've been free. What are you doing? So, okay, I didn't know that. And I said, see, I got busted. I was telling you guys when I was asked on here, who was it that asked me, what is Juneteenth? And I said, Google it. I was really talking to myself. That's a shame, right? Well, I know now. Thank you, Robert. Robert, you've been on it lately. I don't know what you've been drinking, but ship me a bottle of it. And then here's a good one. Shelly Dale says this is about Thad. Does Thad have a chapter in Seattle? I don't believe so. I know that they are local to the south and west side of Chicago, because that's where he's at. And, you know, he's built this from the ground up. My ex-husband, girl, and son are trying to find someone to tend their hive for a couple of months while they travel to Utah. Oh, so you're actually, Shelly Dale, is there anything you and your family don't do? Good Lord. You are in the know, girl. I'm going to give you that. I am going to give you that. Listen, when we come back from break here in just a second, I want to talk to you about how you feel about, well, I'm going to ask you questions about, we're going to do a little quiz and see how many of you know of a Black-owned business, and then we'll go from there. Be right back. Don't you dare go away. I thought I was back on the screen. Welcome back. It is the Friday edition of Bathrobe Moments, and I'm just chit-chatting here for the last few minutes because Thad, thank you to Thad J. Smith of Westside B-Boys for taking us on our very first Bathrobe Moments field trip, where we went out to the actual hives, which are on the outskirts of the city of Chicago, where inner city youth come and they join the organization. They learn the art of beekeeping. They learn how to make all those products you saw in the clip. And I'm going to play another little clip to kind of move us along that can give you a little bit more information about what they're doing. Some of it you may have already heard, but you're going to hear it in a different interview, so it'll be a different way. And then I want you to start putting in the comments if any of you have the websites or information on any, not just Black-owned, women-owned, senior citizen owned, and don't you dare put Bathrobe Moments in there, okay? I'm just saying. I'm proud of my age. I'll be 58 in just, how old will I be? Honey? How old will I be? 58. Lord have mercy. No wonder I forgot it. Yeah, so drop in the comments if you could, any connectors or websites of any minority owned, or it doesn't have to be just minorities, but I'm saying minority owned, women owned, that's minority, business, so that we can do better to support people who have had a struggle of any type. Okay, we're not trying to, it's not, today is Juneteenth. Let's talk about people who have embraced the struggle, right? So let's take a look at that clip that I was promising you, and then we'll talk about it. How do you do that? Okay, there you go. See, I couldn't remember my own age, so, you know, don't judge me. Okay, here we go.
What I'm gonna, you can hate all you wanna, but you saw your pajama. Now I ain't a prima donna, but I built what I wanna. You can say my vision's wrong, the tune of my song. Broke my thumb, made it to my own drum. Broke my thumb, made it to my own drum. Broke my thumb, made it to my own drum. Hoop in a clapping, boots I am a strapping, a click click clacking. Hurrah! Bootstrapping in America. Yeah, bootstrapping in America.
Let me do this.
Welcome back to Bootstrapping in America. I'm Christy Ross. This is Tom Sosnoff. And this is where we interview some of the hottest entrepreneurs in Chicago and beyond. Our guest today is the founder of Westside Bee Boys, which is an apiary services company and honey producer. His company manages beehives all over Chicago and sells several products made with honey. Our guest has emerged from one world of incarceration to the world of entrepreneurship. We have Thad Smith. Welcome, Thad.
Thank you for having me.
Yes.
I don't consider myself the hottest entrepreneur, but hey, I'll take it. I'll take it.
She says that.
Okay, good.
You have an amazing story. So I have to be honest, though. Apiary, I didn't know what it was, so I had to look it up. I mean, I knew this was all about bees and honey. Mm-hmm. So do you refer to yourself as an apiarist?
I can refer to myself as an entrepreneur.
Yeah, I like that. Okay. Yes. So let's talk about your journey, going back from doing something wrong, being incarcerated, and then actually finding that path to entrepreneurship.
So I just call it finding my passion. Really, that's all it was. I've always been good at what my jobs have been. I've always excelled. However, I had another company. Things got bad. We lost our house. Wife separated. Yada yada. I won't go through the whole sad story. I'm sure a lot of people can relate. Mm-hmm. However, during that time, when you're homeless, you make certain decisions. I made a decision, but when I came back, I knew that I knew I could change around. I knew I could do it. I just need to find that right vehicle. One of my mantras is, man, I could do anything. I just haven't talked to the right person yet. That's my mantra, So I hope people keep that same mantra. Man, you could do it. You just haven't talked to the right person yet. So I was selling newspapers on Roosevelt in Michigan, and my main goal was to get into the apprenticeship program at the CTA. So I went through this program. It's called the U-Turn Permitted Program. It's North London Employment Network does it. 30 days. Great thing about them is about interviewing, telling about your past. Trying to explain that when you go to an interview is really hard. So they give you that tool in order to do that. Then they have another program. It's called Sweet Beginnings, not a program, but a company, Sweet Beginnings. And even though we had the U-Turn Permitted Program, people weren't getting hired. So she created a company that she can actually hire people at. Her name is Brenda Pounds Barber, great woman. So I got hired at that company. First week we're there. CBS News comes in, open up a hive, fell in love. I've been doing it ever since,
How long ago was that?
That was June of 2013 was a.
Okay, I see Thad is trying to get to a hot spot. And we're going to hope that he does. There was a little bit more of what you saw. And what I loved about that clip is that they kept the actual connector, the website up on the screen. So I hope you guys wrote that down and you will check it out. There's so many different things that they create. It's really, it truly is a fascinating enterprise, the beekeeping and what they do with the honeycomb, and they use every single thing. And those bees work so hard. And then also, if you notice, if you were here at the top of the hour when Thad began explaining to us about, the different things that were going on as he opened up the different areas of the hive, he was saying that the bee population, other than the honeybees, is starting to die off in our country. And if they die off, we will no longer have the honeybee population. Can you imagine a world without honey? I mean, not everybody is into honey, but honey has a lot of great things that it does for us. And I happen to have mine here. I have to keep it in this little bowl thing because I just drip it all over the place. And then it gets all sugary crystallized like that. Mm-hmm. Ooh, that is really strong. What is your favorite thing to put honey on? My favorite thing to put honey on, believe it or not, is an English muffin that has some Irish butter on it first. Got to be Irish butter. It's so good. You got to try it. Oh boy. Do you remember Ian Holm from the Lord of the Rings? The actor from the Lord of the Rings, Ian Holm, the older, he just passed away. Prayers and everything out to his family. So anyway, please get over and check out. Well, let's see. Let's check back in to some of our comments. Agnes says, you're welcome to my home in Puerto Rico. Okay, send your address. We'll be there next weekend. For real. Can you cook? Agnes, can you cook? You look like you can cook. That's all that matters to me. I'll sleep in the car. April says, that's really interesting. Shelly Dale says, ha ha, no, Loren, we have our fingers dipped in mini pools. You certainly do. Oh, Andrea, honey on your avocado toast? So you put take us through that. So you have the bread, and then do you put butter on there? Does that go with avocado? Interesting. And that's another thing. That's a really big breakfast thing now. I see it on menus, especially like in airports and different places, business centers. Avocado toast. That's a big one. I'm gonna try it. I love avocado. Somebody else in the house, not so much. That sounds really good. What else we got here? True, not just honey. We would lose most food. That's true if we didn't have honey. Thank you for that, Robert Brooker from Canada. So anyway, I think, why don't we can end a little early today. Because you see, I'm running out of things to yap about. Who knew? Did you think that would ever even be possible? I didn't. Take that off the screen. But in conclusion, I want to say this today because it is Juneteenth. Oh, I just got a thing from Thad. He goes, the internet out there is so far out in the boonies that it's just crappy. And we'll have Thad back on so we can just have him sit down and explain everything that the bees are doing. But thank you, Thad. I loved it. I've always wanted to be not too up close and personal because I'm not going out there in real life. I'm telling you that. Just the sound of all of it and them all crawling all on top of each other. Oh, no. I'd start running and then they'd chase me because you know why? I'll be honest. I was that kid. If I saw I didn't know the difference when I was little between wasps and honeybees. And you know how you'll see wasp hives hanging places? Well, most of the boys I'd hang with would run. I'd be the one to find a stick or something and try to knock it down. And that's why I think I hold the record in our neighborhood of wasp stings. I think I had like 9 once. They had to take me to the hospital just in case. I mean, my whole face was swollen. They tore me up. You hear me? That's what you get for knocking our house down, little boy. So one time it took. So anyway, just a little story there. I want you guys to, avocado, olive oil, and honey. Okay. Next time you have that, will you take a picture and share it with us? Interesting. Listen, you guys, it is Juneteenth, and I just think we need to find reasons to love. Reasons to love what people are contributing within our country, within our world that's of a positive nature. I think we need to learn to respect everyone, no matter what their color is, no matter what their economic level is, no matter what their educational standing is. We just need to accept people where they're at. It takes all colors. It takes all flavors. It takes all types of seasonings to make the entire pot taste just perfect. So just think about it. And I would challenge each of us to think of a way that we can have that conversation with people that don't look like us. I mean, yeah, I can get on the phone and talk to 100 African Americans, and we can bitch and moan and agree and disagree. But I think the true conversation is with people that don't look like you, to hear not just how they feel about your plight, what you're going through, your struggle, but to be able to hear their own struggle. All of us have a struggle in some way or another. Doesn't matter. White, yellow, green, purple. Everybody has a struggle. Nobody gets away from that. So let's just have the conversation, shall we? And see if that makes a difference. I mean, what do we have to lose? Actually, a whole lot. So listen, I just want to say, what's that, April? I love honey in tea. I do too. And on fresh, hot buttered biscuits. Wait for it. Oh, I just came out of a Mind commercial where somebody was breaking open that hot buttered biscuit, and then the blop of butter was on it, and then they were drizzling the honey on. Too good. Thank you for that, April. I've just had breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Right there, all at once. Oh, good. Thank you. She's going to bring it next or take a picture. So you guys, anyway, I want you to get out there and have the best weekend ever. Have the best weekend ever. Have conversations. Call people that you haven't talked to in a while. Encourage them to love and love again. I would hope that you all are staying safe. Follow the protocol, whatever it is, wherever you're living. Follow the guidelines. Stay safe. Keep washing your hands. Keep wearing your masks. Keep disinfecting and using your hand sanitizer. And we're going to get through this thing. I promise you that. I hope that all of you will come back Monday. Oh, my goodness. And I just want to say, Bathrobe Moments After Dark. Mark your calendars every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. We are booked all the way through. We're into August now. Great, great guests. All of them are in the entertainment industry in one form or another. And their stories about how they got to where they are, what they went through, and the sacrifices they had to make, and the challenges they still face. Even though we're watching them on Netflix and on the big screens, they have a lot to share. And I just love that. So that's what Bathrobe Moments After Dark is all about. Every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Central. Mark your calendar. And mark your calendar to join me here Monday morning, where I'll have another great guest telling their story. And if you or someone you know would like to be a guest here on Bathrobe Moments, hit me up. That's all you got to do is ask. And I would love to have you here sharing your story of how you came through. So let's see, a couple more before we get out of here. Robert says this will be happening today. Call is scheduled. Thank you, my man. I can always count on Robert. Always. Shelly Dell, love you, Loren, and all the incredible content you and Bathrobe Moments bring to start my mornings. Super grateful for you. And I couldn't do it if you weren't here. Well, I could, but how much fun would that be? So thank you for, did I just spit everywhere? Oops. And April, glad to have met you, love. Thanks, Oracle, for connecting us. Oh, did she? You know she's going to have her own show. Yeah. Oops. Did I just let something out of the bag? Oh, well. I thank you all. You all, every time we come together, the promise is fulfilled that where two or more of us come together, not something great can, might, should happen. The promise is that something great will and does happen. And every day that we're here together, we fulfill the promise of what is greater than us. Source, God, the universe, whatever you want to call he, she, or they. I want you to get out there now and do what we do. Love up on everyone you can. Be the best person you can be. Everything that you find yourself looking in the face, do this. Tell yourself that you're going to make this situation and leave it better than the way you found it. If you do that, we're going to be living in a fantastic world before you can say Jackie Robinson. Have a great weekend. I'll see you back here Monday for your next installment of Bathrobe Moments.